Between that and the next film, you have the TV series.
Bingo, and Young Indiana Jones.
And there now this is something that's confusing. There were a number of made-for-TV movies.
It does get a little confusing, and the waters get a little muddied simply because it's all kind of happening at the same time. The show came first, and then the show...
Once the show ended, they say, there's still something else here.
They recut and then shot... I think they recut some shit, and then they also did some original made-for-TV movies.
The series goes one season?
No, I know it went at least two.
And then who plays him? Patrick Flannery?
Sean Patrick Flannery is the person most known for playing him. You technically had 4 people portraying Indiana Jones in that. So
just in the series.
In the series, yes. So after Crusade in '89, because if you remember, they had a 5-picture deal. Mm-hmm. Lucas couldn't fucking think of anything after that. So instead, he shifted his focus to a prequel television story that would tell how Indy grew up and the adventures he'd have as a boy and young man.
The Spielberg executive producer on this?
I do believe so. Mm-hmm. So part of it, you would see Indy as, about 8 to 10, and this is during his father's 2-year lecture tour around the world.
So Indy's following him around the world, having just little adventures
across
here and there.
Globe, yeah. Yes, exactly. So the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles would debut on ABC, and my dad and I were so fucking excited for this.
I don't think I ever really watched it.
Him and I were very excited for it, and we tried to make it an appointment television, but it got kind of hard sometimes. But it debuted on March 4th of 92. It ran until July 24th of 93. Due to low ratings and a high production cost, the show would be canceled after 1 year, but 4 TV movies would be produced and aired between 94 and 96.
So you think these were recut versions of episodes just kind of sandwiched together?
I think that there was some recuts, but there were original movies made. I know there were re-edits.
And Sean Patrick Flannery returning to the role?
Oh, absolutely. I know that you ended up having some re-edits of... and this is where it gets, kind of confusing. You had some re-edits of the original TV show that would become known as The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. Those were usually on the Family Channel. While it was still the Family Channel.
Did they put any of them on the Wonderful World of Disney?
I guarantee they had.
I seem to recall that, or at least maybe the first one.
Do you remember watching any of the TV show episodes, Dustin, or the made-for-TV movies after that?
I just remember watching Young Indie Chronicles a bit here and there. I do remember there being a trading card set of them as well, made by Pro Set, if I remember correctly. I was in some sort of a trading card club that I would get quote unquote
trading card club
promo cards sent to me of upcoming card sets.
Are they worth as much as Bitcoin now?
Yeah, probably not. But I remember getting a Young Indiana Jones trading card sent to me like, hey, there's going to be a full set of these coming out.
Never happened.
Yeah.
So you did watch some of the show though?
Yeah.
How did...
Because I knew Sean Patrick Flannery, when he did Powder.
Well, how was he in the role? Because obviously Harrison Ford is iconic in that role. Mm-hmm. You know, it's. I think he takes a lot from Han Solo.
Totally.
But there's other elements too. Iconic role. How does Sean Patrick Flannery rank against that?
It was fun. I could see him being a good choice to play that role. And also... he's not a huge name these days, but he's maintained consistent work for a whole career. He's gotten some roles that are a little better than others for sure, and I think this is one of his most known kind of right out the gate,
But serviceable. He did a good job.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And when I met him, I don't think Young Indy came up much, but... that's what led me kind of to follow his career.
You saw him?
Yeah.
So you have this TV show. It runs for however many episodes. You got the made-for-TV movies. I know there are video games, and I think a lot of early video games, when you're talking Nintendo, Super Nintendo...
Oh, they go earlier than that. You'll be shocked.
But people aren't like, this is canon. the story from these are part. But within the past couple of years, there's been another Indiana Jones game that came out, which I think it might be considered canon. I heard is actually a very good video game.
As recent as 2024. And I got a shocker for you, brother. Because I'll touch more on like what exactly came out, but it's all canon.
All the old video games are canon.
Video games and novels, they're all canon.
We got the novels.
As far from my research, it's canon. And we between shows, Dustin, I was smoking my filthy cigarette. Dustin was getting high.
Boogeyman.
I was in here praying.
You were in there praying because you're a good boy.
You were playing fucking Problems by ASAP Rocky.
I was just trying to have God not me play it. Have me play it though.
What's interesting is you have a point where Disney buys Lucasfilm. Now, infamously, depending on how you look at it, when it came to Star Wars, a big thing that became like very divisive.
They did a big canon dump.
They did a huge Now, they didn't do that with Indy though. But here is my argument would be, here's the difference. Indy did have some comics, but they were usually comic book adaptations of films that were already made. He had novels, but you can.
How many nerds read them?
There's a relative, by comparison, a relatively low number of video games and novels by comparison. Star Wars, as far as extended universe, novels, video games, it's huge.
There's so much shit that could conflict with each other. Is easy just to say, you know what? Those are great. We had a good time with that, right? And in the garbage can.
Yes. They didn't do that with Indy.
Yeah, okay.
They did it with Star Wars.
To me.
Yeah, it's still really him, damn it.
Yeah.
Great. So they do that. TV shows, whatever, games.
By comparison, it's easier to keep the stuff with Indy canon because it's not as wide of a berth.
Oh, for sure. You're talking about an actual entire galaxy.
Yeah.
Take a break and we go to Crystal Skull.
Eons of history.
Crystal Skull, people want to say Temple of Doom is bad. Well, I got news for you.
Hey.
The Crystal Skull is not good.
Holster that.
Well, let's not holster. Let's go right into it.
No.
Let's go right into it.
No.
Let's go right into it.
No.
Let's go right into it.
No. I don't want
I'm not budging on this one.
I'm not budging either.
I'm not. We'll
How
be here
much
all
more
night.
do you have to read before we get to it?
Yeah, no shit.
No, it's next.
Okay.
All I want to say. All I want to say. No. There's a
Show me
little
that
bit.
picture of him in the sunglasses again.
Did you show him the video?
I turned it into a sticker. No, I didn't.
I was
show him the
crazy
video.
in it. All I want to say is with this, because I had mentioned you had 4 different people portraying it. One was Corey Carrier as Kid Indy, 8 to 10. Sean Patrick Flannery, of course, as Indy is apparently 16 to 21 in those adventures, is portrayed by him. The episodes were bookended by an elderly Indy that's about 92, 93.
Laurence Olivier.
Sports and no, he was long dead.
Huh?
He is portrayed by George Hall. But what's notable is Harrison Ford did return for one episode.
Oh, did he? As
a slightly older Indy, said to be about 50, and he's recounting a tale set in 1920s Chicago. Now, due to the relative amount of success and longevity to the series, Lucas began to think up new ideas that would see Indy facing off against aliens. I remember reading about that in like fucking Wizard magazine and shit.
That's not on your DVD set, Jay.
As well as Joseph Stalin and his interest in psychic warfare. Initially, Harrison Ford balked at the idea of Indy fighting aliens, which I gotta agree with that. And Spielberg had no interest in directing anything related to aliens at the time because how many alien movies did he do?
I don't know.
A decent amount.
Harrison Ford was like, I'm not doing anything with fucking aliens. I'll do Cowboys and Aliens. I'll do Cowboys versus Aliens.
Well, you let a
That's
couple.
a comic.
You let about a decade or so pass. Because you think about it, Spielberg did nothing related to aliens, and then he's like, I'll do War of the Worlds, fuck it.
Ice Cube did War of the Worlds recently. Yeah, that went over well.
Oh, yeah, that did not do well.
Thing. Shot during quarantine, came out years later.
Yes.
Nominated for multiple Razzies.
Did not do well. So at this time, Lucas instead turned his focus towards the Star Wars prequels. It would not be until 2000 when Spielberg's son asked him when he was going to make another Indiana Jones movie. Here we go, Crystal Skull. So in the early 2000s, in general, you started seeing some nostalgia for the 80s start to creep in. A good example, 2002, you saw the revival of fucking He-Man. I think you started seeing, some rumblings of G.I. Joe movies and Transformers and shit. So during the 2000 American Film Institute tribute to Harrison Ford, Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy, Lucas, and Frank Marshall all discussed the prospect of making another Indiana Jones movie and how much fun it could be.
But he was busy playing the president and like respectable dramatic roles. Like Harrison had kind of moved on.
He had moved on.
Like he did some, Jack Ryan.
Hey,
we had
get off my plane.
We had already regarded Henry. He had told the people to get off of this plane.
Oh, he made a ton of movies. Oh yeah, he was in the '90s, massive star.
Like he didn't need to come back to
showed
Indy.
us 6 Days and 7 Nights with Anne Heche.
All right, whatever happened to her?
Anna Heche.
Nothing good.
She was the Ducky of her time.
She was. Lucas and Spielberg circle back to the idea of aliens being a part of the movie, but Lucas suggested the idea of the lore surrounding the crystal skulls as a plot device to ground the film. Initially, Nazis were suggested as antagonists, hunting Indy into the 50s. However, this was ditched as Lucas felt they had plumbed the depths of using Nazis as the bad guys. We have our own crystal skull at the table, and I'm very happy about it. With that's filled with tiddlywinks, by the way.
Yeah, I was surprised it took this long.
Me too. Spielberg really didn't want to try to joke about Nazis after having completed Schindler's List, and given that the movie would be set in the 50s, decided KGB operatives were the obvious choice as bad guys. Several bigger names were connected with the project, including M. Night Shyamalan and Frank Darabont. Darabont's idea...
Anne Frank Darabont?
Yeah, that's right.
The Frank Darabont?
The Diary of Anne Frank Darabont?
You got it. Darabont's idea of bringing back Marion Ravenwood as well as her and Indy having a child together were ideas brought forth by him, though originally it would have been a 13-year-old daughter. These things would shape the film, but instead, Indy would have an older young adult son nicknamed Mutt. The pitch for Mutt originally...
Mutt Lang.
Yeah!
He went on to make music videos, and then he died in Vietnam. The pitch for Mutt originally had him cast as a bit of a nerd, but Lucas rebuked this idea, as much like Indy had been to his own father, Mutt needed to be everything that drove Indy nuts. In this case, given the era, a greaser in the fashion of Marlon Brando in The Wild One. Karen Allen returned as Marion, joined by Shia LaBeouf as Mutt, a.k.a. Henry Jones III, and Kate Blanchett as Irina Spalko, a KGB operative who is obsessed with finding the crystal skull in Peru for its telekinetic properties. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull made its debut on May 22nd, 2008, to mixed, if not generally favorable reviews. But it had many critiques. One in particular that jumps out is the whole idea of nuked the fridge, which many would argue replaced Jump the Shark. Jason, let loose the dogs of war.
Well, first, I just want to give a big ups to my main man, Dan Aykroyd, who loves the Crystal Skull vodka.
I was going to ask you, is that Dan Aykroyd Crystal Skull tequila?
I was at Goodwill, and sometimes Goodwill, you could buy like empty bottles of booze. And that's fucking stupid. But they had the Crystal Skull, which is Dan Aykroyd's... anytime Dan Aykroyd's being interviewed, he's going to shoehorn at least 90 seconds of hawking his Crystal Skull vodka, because he is a big believer in the paranoia. He loves all that shit, and he has a vodka brand that comes in a bottle that looks like a crystal skull. The Crystal Skull in the film, the Indiana Jones film, is a much larger, looks like a skull of an alien, where it has a much bigger skull. But this is one I just keep here, and I fill it with colorful things, and it sits on my table. It looks
it's
cool.
fun.
But this is the Crystal Skull vodka from Dan Aykroyd. The film I will say it is in the spirit of Indiana Jones.
Okay.
You've seen The Crystal Skull.
That's the last Indiana Jones movie I've seen.
Okay, it's probably been a while.
Yeah. I saw it when it came out, and I was like, yeah, that didn't hit like I wanted it to, and I haven't bothered to revisit anything beyond the originals.
I saw it when it came out, too, and that's the only
Yeah.
time I've seen it. I think I've seen chunks on TV since, but I'm not really that interested. It does feel like an Indiana Jones movie, and the alien stuff doesn't really bother me because if we take a moment to think about the previous 3 films, there are supernatural elements in all of them.
Nazi's faces melted.
Yeah, we got flying ghosts coming out of the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
We've got people melting after drinking out of the wrong cup. You know, we've got people pulling hearts out of people's chests and they're still alive and glowing. There are supernatural elements. So the alien thing doesn't really bother me. This is what bothers me.
Oh, here we go.
Shia LaBeouf is in a scene where he's trying to follow his father, who is Indiana Jones, and Marion, who is his mother. And they're driving away from the Nazis, and to keep up with them, he must swing on a series of vines along with 2 to 3 dozen monkeys.
Yes, sir.
A la Tarzan.
It is a slap in the face of everything that I hold sacred in cinema. This is the worst film in the Indiana Jones canon, if you ask me. It is it's not bad, but there's some really rough parts.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun action. Harrison Ford's great.
I've blocked it all out.
It's good to see Karen Allen again. Some of your old favorites are in there, and I love Shia LaBeouf. And I don't even care that he's got a stupid name like Mutt. That's a dumb name. But that scene really put a damper on things.
That really
for me.
ruined it for you, huh?
That's your fridge.
The fridge doesn't really. It's stupid, but it doesn't really bother me because there. And then the alien skull, I think, glows and something happens. I think it may be like an alien appears or something. Whatever. There are supernatural elements, but it's not a great flick. But it does feel it has the spirit of Indiana Jones of it. Mm-hmm. So
It's just not well executed.
I don't think so.
I agree with a lot of things you said, but it's still not my least favorite.
Temple of Doom is your
Temple of Doom.
That's not. It's not mine. That's that one. That one is because it was made in the 80s. It feels like that. You want 80s Jones. That's what you want, and that is it.
Yeah.
This one's not great.
No.
It's not a good movie, but it's definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No.
Whatever. They took another break. 15 years.
Yeah.
And they said, let's make one more. And this time, Harrison Ford, he's making this movie. He's 78, 79 years old when he's making this movie.
He's pushing 80.
He's over 80 now. And when he made this movie, he was an old man.
Yeah.
And they made one more, and they used a lot of CGI in The Dial of Destiny, a film that I saw, and I'm going to give a thumbs up to. I like The Dial of Destiny.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. I don't think it deserved the heat that got. And like you said, the franchise remained fairly quiet to the broader general public outside of video games, of which there were a lot over the decades in general. Books and other licensed material throughout the 90s and into the 2000s, until yet another hard wave of nostalgia started washing over the masses during the global pandemic. Just ahead of the COVID-19 pandemic, certain IPs were having revisits to greater or lesser effects, and with the world full of uncertainty in 2020 and people retreating into themselves, their hobbies and nostalgic pieces of their childhoods, these Gen Xers and Millennials wanted more of their comfort foods from the past. Ghostbusters, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Star Wars were all getting revisits by way of new toy lines, reboots, film franchises, legacy sequels, and prequels. It was decided that it was Indy's turn. After years of pre-production announcements and false starts, the 5th and ultimately final Indiana Jones
We don't know that yet.
I think it's final.
It's very much the final one.
Based on shit they've said. Final in the sense that you're not going to have Harrison Ford back for another one. It would begin production and see release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, making its debut on June 30th, 2023.
Now, how far do we want to get into the plot of this?
I was going to
Hasn't seen
ask. Here's the thing. Should I see
Here's the deal.
Dial of Destiny?
You saw it on the schedule. you made your decision.
Yeah, should I see Dial of Destiny for the first time, or should I watch Last Crusade for the second time?
You should watch Last Crusade.
That's what I figured. So, yeah, whatever. Game on.
I'm sorry. He asked an honest question. I'm giving an honest opinion.
I don't think those things have to be different. It's not mutually exclusive. You can
No, they're not.
You can do
They're
both.
not. You could do both on the same day, especially. You have a 4-day weekend.
I do have a 4-day weekend coming up.
You got the
both.
return of some classic characters in a new setting where they are. Who are they fighting? It's not the. Is it the Russians again?
No,
No, it's
the
kinda-
Warriors. I will say
The way.
what I like about this movie. So it's set in 1969 amid the space race and the Vietnam War. The story sees a weathered, if not wiser, Indy eyeing retirement from academia. He has become estranged from Marion after the death of their son Mutt in the Vietnam War and seems somewhat adrift, a man out of time amid all the changes in the world, many of the black and white lines he once knew having been blurred. I do like this aspect of Indy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's reflective of America at the time. Like, in the 40s, and I would say even into the 50s, even though you can have your critiques of some of the things we were doing politically and sociologically in the 50s, the bad guys were clearly outlined. It was the Nazis. It was the fucking commies and how they were treating their people. You get into the 60s, the lines start being blurred. Who's good, who's bad? And a big part of that is one of the main characters in this. You, of course, after World War II, you have Operation Paperclip, where you brought a shit ton of Nazi scientists to America to put our asses on the moon. So it's like you're Nazis, but you're the good Nazis because you're going to help us make rockets and shit. Like that had to be hard. That had to be hard back. Like step away from the fiction, step away from the Indiana Jones of it all. Imagine our grandfathers who fought in the Pacific. Like, I think of my grandfather. I never knew him. He unfortunately died a month after I was born. This is a man who came home with a drinking problem. This is a man who came home missing a leg and eventually lost his other leg because of the scar tissue. These are men and women who were part of a war effort in the 30s and 40s to go against what they perceived as, and they were accurate, the greatest evil at the time. And then you have Werner, what the fuck his name is, that helped put us on the fucking moon, that made B-12 rockets for the Germans. He's on the Wonderful World of Disney with Walt Disney talking about fucking rockets. That had to be a hard pill to swallow. You know, so I like that it's reflective of this. It blurs the line of morality. It blurs the line of, and that matches society in the 60s. A lot of things were being blurred right then and there. So, like, Dial of Destiny took a shit ton of heat, and we'll fucking get into that.
They go back in time.
They do go back in time.
Nice.
But I
To
don't...
save Mutt, right?
Yeah.
They're going to save Mutt, right?
Dustin.
Derek.
The Dustin of
They're,
Destiny.
Jason, they're saving Mutt, right?
No,
You should watch Crusade again.
You should watch Crusade a second time. Just have yourself a summer of '89 movie fest, and you can watch Crusade and Batman and Purple Rain. Was that
I'm
summer
supposed to be
eight?
watching new movies this month
fuck
for,
that.
for
Fuck that.
February.
No. Sink
It was
in-
dry January, and now it's February.
Sink into,
You watch a new movie.
Sink into
every
comfort.
letter of the alphabet.
Sink into comfort.
There's a lot of de-aging, and
Oh, see, I knew about that.
and there's a lot of.
I think that's what kept me
stunt
away
actor.
from it.
But you know what? If you can get past that, I think it's a good flick.
Harrison Ford in the
It's not
Uncanny
bad.
Valley.
It's not bad.
To me, it's better than Crystal Skull, and it's better than Temple of Doom. It's right in the middle
Okay.
there.
All right.
I like Dial of Destiny. And,
I didn't think it was bad.
It's super bombed at the box office. It just, I mean, you gave us all that shit about nostalgia. I don't know how accurate that is if no one came out to support this thing.
Well, okay. So here's okay. Let's quick shot this plot. So, further complicating matters is the return of his estranged goddaughter Helena Shaw, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who has come back looking for an artifact called the Dial of Destiny, which is based on the Antikytherian mechanism. And that's part of what made me excited for this. I learned about the Antikytherian mechanism when I was like fucking 12, and I was fascinated with it. It's an ancient analog computer that was handheld, that was basically a handheld orrery, or a model of the solar system, and it was capable of calculating astronomical events decades in advance. So when it was made, like, it could calculate solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, all these amazing celestial events. And it's from ancient Greece. It's like from the age of like the Phoenicians and shit. That's incredible. So I've always been drawn to the story of the Antikytherian device. But anyways, it was a relic that had been rescued by Jones and Helena's father, Basil, played by Toby Jones, in the dying days of World War II during an adventure to save the Spear of Longinus, also known as the Spear of Destiny, the spear that stabbed Christ and what have you when he was being crucified. Enter Nazi-turned-NASA scientist under Operation Paperclip, Jürgen Voller, played by Mads Mikkelsen, who also seeks the dial. As it turns out, the dial is capable of calculating fissures in time, a property Voller wants to exploit in order to travel to Germany ahead of Hitler's invasion of Poland, which is often seen as basically the kickoff of fucking World War II, assassinate him, seize control of the Nazi party, and lead them to victory. Indy and Helena, of course, save the day after a trip back to the Battle of Syracuse in 212 AD, and upon returning to present day and New York, Indy reconciles with Marion. The flick sees the return of Karen Allen as well as John Rhys Davies as Sala. We do get kind of posthumous cameos by Sean Connery by way of a photograph. And like I said, you also have the addition of Toby Jones as Basil. The film is noted for the heavy and fairly derided use of de-aging technology for flashbacks to India in World War II. That de-aging was rough. It is
great.
what it is. It was rough.
They used it in the Super Bowl commercial last night.
Unfortunately, this is a film like so many other productions. I think now in 2025 and going into 2026, the current year, people have been a little more forgiving of things that were being produced during COVID, during writer strikes, because you had a lot of interrupted productions at the time. And unfortunately, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a prime example of that. However, we weren't quite used to that yet. So I think people weren't as forgiving at the time for it. But here's the thing. The film has an approval rating of just over 70%, which overall, that's not that bad.
Oh, no, that's good. If it's on Rotten Tomatoes, over 70% is
yeah.
good.
It's not a Melania documentary,
Which is questionable. The close of the franchise would be considered, like you said, Jay, a box office bomb due to its box office return versus the film's budget. And I think that's why it's considered a bomb. Like, they spent a lot of fucking money.
That's how you determine whether or not something is a bomb. Is its financial return.
Well, like, people hear I think the layperson hears the term bomb and they automatically think it's a bad movie. No, a good
things
movie
can be true.
Yeah, a good movie can bomb
Yeah.
if your budget is blown way out of fucking proportion. It was estimated that Dial of Destiny would have needed a return of about $600 million just to break even. The film at the time was considered one of the most expensive ever produced, with a budget of just over $350 million and a return of just shy of $385.
It made $385 still. Wow.
At the time, yeah. I'm sure it's gone on to
you know,
make more, but
people don't know who Harrison Ford is anymore. You're under a certain age, people don't know who he is. He's not popping up in films. He's an old man now.
No.
You know, I think that's tough to say, oh, your leading man is 80 years old. That's a tough sell, even though the character is strong.
Nostalgia
this
will
is a different
only
generation.
take you too far.
It's a different generation.
Yeah.
But I still think it was a good effort, and I like the show, and I'm glad I went to the theater to see it.
And I will say, I do enjoy it more than Crystal Skull.
And Temple of Doom.
And I do enjoy it more than Temple of Doom. The end of Indy's story would not be financially satisfying, but at the end of the day, it would give us one last ride with the hero. I kind of want to discuss highs, lows, favorite bits or lines, what have you. Because we just kind of shotgun through the overview of all the films.
That was shotgunning?
Buddy, it was 5 fucking films and
It's
a
a
TV
lot.
show.
It's a lot.
That's why I think we
hold on.
kind of talked about our favorite scenes and stuff as we went along.
Hold on, I think you have to admit, for discussing a whole fucking
No, I'm not
franchise.
gonna admit anything.
Well, you can suck my dick.
Get it out. Let's see it.
All right, here we go.
Let's see it.
Good thing I wore sweats.
Well, that's way bigger than I thought.
Okay. So let's break it down this way. Any favorite lines or bits that stand out to you from the movies? I have a couple.
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Wrong franchise, fuckface.
I love you. I know.
Wrong franchise.
Right before he goes in the carbonite.
Wrong.
Huh?
I'm regarding Henry.
Ritz. That's right. I took it down even further.
I'm fugitive.
Ritz. I don't care.
I did kill my wife.
Hey. Get off of my plane.
That's good. That was a real good
Hey,
one.
where's your other arm? There's 2 of these.
I just got us tickets. It's for 6 days and 7 nights. Remember that line?
I'm Bob Falfa. I have a car.
Nice.
American Graffiti.
How about I trust you on that one. Never saw it.
I'll believe you. I love you and I trust you. I will say some favorite things of mine is Raiders, The Swordsman, which the story behind that,
Yeah.
Harrison was apparently sick. I can't remember if it was like food poisoning or the flu.
Hungover.
And he just, it probably hungover. And he just kind of ad-libbed shooting the guy. And they're like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Apparently the swordsman was like fucking pissed because the dude like practiced and all this
Yeah,
shit.
Spielberg and Harrison have both taken credit for this.
And I love it. It's just because it's such an indie
The
thing.
swordsman got paid the same.
Yes.
Yes.
He was doing very long, dramatic deaths.
Yeah.
I heard that straight from Harrison in the documentary.
I always like the scene where he fought that big bald shirtless guy, and then the guy gets
the beefy Nazi.
and then he gets chopped up in the blades of the plane.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And you just see the splat of the blood on the.
Yeah, I always like that.
I
Was a
love
good
that
one.
part. I was just gonna say that part was fucking great. I love that part.
It's a cool part.
I also love when they're making the decision as to whether or not to go to Berlin to get the diary, and Indy just Jesus Christ, and Henry Sr. just fucking slaps him. He goes, "That's for blasphemy."
Mm-hmm.
Dig it.
Two bits from that movie I like.
almost fell out
One
of
where
my
they're in the library and there's a big X on the floor and they say X marks the spot. It's like a big Roman numeral number 10, and then he starts taking like some kind of like post and starts bashing the floor. And
The guy stamping the book.
yeah, I was a guy. I thought it was whoever the librarian is, guy or girl. She's stamping the books, and as she's stamping them is when he's hitting the floor. It sounds like she. That's silly. And then I always like when there's a chase scene with Indiana Jones.
Oh, they
and
have
his
good
dad.
chase
Oh,
scenes.
the chase scenes.
And,
are
and he's
always
in he's riding a motorcycle, and Senior is in the sidecar.
Yep.
And they get like a post or something, and I think they like joust a guy off of a motorcycle coming at him.
And then don't they also like
And
jam in
that's
the spoke?
that's the one. And then they stick it in the spoke of that guy, and he like it stops his tire, and he goes flipping
goes
off his bike.
flying.
Those are some fun scenes.
Yeah.
those are real fun.
I like the one where they're in the mine car
Hell
after
yeah.
that sidecar business.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what it was. Is it was a sidecar the whole time.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I would.
You need to rewatch Crusade.
Apparently, I do. Did you know Tom Selleck was almost Indiana Jones?
Yes, he was. He
Carter.
was strongly considered for it.
Can you
He
imagine that
absolutely was.
mustache with that hat?
Did you send us test footage?
Yes, I did. Him and Sean Young together.
Man,
Marion-
Sean Young.
Sean
talk
Young
about a
is
classic
Marion.
case of near misses. Because she was almost Marion. she was almost Vicky Vale,
Catwoman.
and she was almost Catwoman, or she wanted to be Catwoman.
A career of misses. Huh?
Yeah, goddamn.
Well, watch
But
that
hey-
screen test and you'll understand
But
why.
hey, she was Ray Finkel.
She was Ray Finkel.
Yeah.
Is the test footage pretty bad?
Well, I think he's more convincing than she is.
It's not awesome. I've seen it before.
But yeah, Tom Selleck. That'd have been interesting.
Trying to make that jump
Yeah.
to film.
Yeah.
Really?
Hey, don't worry. He did all right with 3 Men and a Baby.
Yes, he did.
He was also in Folks.
Goots glutes.
Oh, yeah.
He was also in 23 seasons of Blue Bloods.
Yes, he was.
They made just over 1,400 episodes. Did you know that?
Hey, Tom Selleck.
did not know
Why is
that.
your blood blue? So long.
Shauna loves that
What's under
show.
that mustache?
She absolutely loves that show.
What have you been doing for 23 years?
I really think Tom Selleck is in his 80s, and his mustache is jet black.
Yes, it is. I do want to dive into, and we're probably going to handle this in somewhat of Garfield fashion, because there is a lot. There's a lot of branded material, but the legacy and merch of it all. The legacy of Indiana Jones can be seen in any number of similar adventure films that followed after the success of Raiders, such as Richard Chamberlain's back-to-back turns as Alan Quartermain for Cannon Films, or Michael Douglas in the role of Jack T. Colton in Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile. Additionally, there would be a cyclical relationship between Indy and Scrooge McDuck. The adventuring and treasure hunting nature of Uncle Scrooge and the adventure seen as comics would add to the inspirations for Indiana Jones, and the aesthetics from Indiana Jones would later inspire the look and feel for DuckTales, the animated series adapted from the old Uncle Scrooge comics.
Listen to that episode in our back catalog.
It's with Adam Z, and my son tells him, "Fuck you."
Yeah, that's great. The best moment of my life. You guys know, you know the name Nathan Drake? Do you know that name?
Name sounds
I've heard
familiar.
it, yeah.
So it's the main character of the video game series Uncharted.
Yeah. And then they got the Spider-Man's plays him.
Yes. What's that
Spider-Man's
kid's?
and
Tom
Mark
Holland
Wahlberg's.
and Mark Wahlberg playing.
I
I
call
would say
it Mr.
those
Zandy.
and I would say those and Tomb Raider heavily inspired.
I never saw the film.
It's on
Uncharted,
Netflix, I think.
but I played the first 3 games. I think this has probably been over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful games. There's big, big set pieces. They're really beautiful games.
Very
And that-
cinematic
And that
in scope.
character is Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah,
He's making his way through jungles. He's finding treasure, scaling things, climbing. I think all he's missing is a fedora and a whip. But
Parkour.
It's Indiana
Parkour.
Jones. You know, this is, and
Absolutely.
you're right. Tomb Raider to a degree too is the
Yeah.
same thing.
Depending on your gaming system in the decade, just triangular tits.
Yeah. Boobs.
I played a more modern version again, probably 10, 12 years ago of Tomb Raider, and they've updated for modern times, and the newer versions are very good.
Yeah.
They're fun games.
I've heard the newer entries into the franchise are amazing.
And these are all inspired by, I mean, probably the people who made those directly inspired by Indiana Jones.
absolutely.
But like obviously Indiana Jones is derivative of the pulp stuff. It's,
yeah.
It's all one
It all
continuity
comes from
but-
somewhere.
yeah.
Like, even though the success of Raiders inspired like Cannon Films to like make the Alan Quartermain movies with Sharon Stone and Richard Chamberlain, Indy himself is inspired by the old pulp novels of probably, I'm sure Doc Savage figures into it, but definitely Alan Quartermain. So, something else that came out of Indiana Jones, you referenced it. Mo got to go do it beginning in 1989. Disney has featured the Indiana Jones stunt show in their parks.
It's pretty cool.
Yes, I did get to go see it when I was a kid several times. And with Disney's purchase of Lucasfilm in 2000, Indiana Jones' presence at the parks has been maintained through various other means. The stunt show can certainly be credited with keeping Indy close to the zeitgeist. As far as merchandise is concerned, like I said, much like Garfield last week, there is a lot of branded material. Raiders saw an adaptation at Marvel Comics, and there were, of course, novelizations of the films. What is, to me anyways, especially notable is Indy's presence in gaming, with Indiana and his adventures, whether adapted or brand spanking new adventures, being developed for various platforms, beginning with 1982's adaptation of Raiders to the Atari 2600, all the way to 2024's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle from Bethesda Studios, which I have heard is awesome. Along the way, Jones naturally got in on the Lego craze, both in play sets and video
I
games.
forgot about those.
Oh, yeah.
The Indiana Jones Legos.
Yes, sir. What's even more impressive is the list of original novels that are considered canon and were at least overseen by Lucas that saw the majority of their publication throughout the 90s. A grand total of 13 were published, the first 12 between 1991 and 1999, the 13th released in 2009.
Do you have the titles handy?
No, I don't have them here.
Oh, Jason, what do you think some of those titles would be?
Oh, geez.
There's 12 of them, Indiana Jones novels that are canon.
They are canon.
Okay, Indiana Jones.
And there's actually a total of 13, the 13th being released in 2009. Likely
The
dusting
Tomb
off,
of Nefertiti.
likely dusting off the idea of novelizations or novels to coincide with 2008.
Indiana Jones Whip Smart.
Probably.
Indiana Jones Mud Up in Them Guts.
Sounds
Or Up in
legit.
Them Mutts.
Up in them mutts.
Oh, no, they bring him back?
I know there's one based around Noah's Ark.
Oh,
I think it's
2
called
by
the-
2.
I think it's called the Deluge of Genesis or something like that.
Marion's got to have her own adventure, right? Where
It's a
she's the
spin-off.
star?
Yeah.
Sure don't.
Indiana Jones and the eyelid tattoos.
A lot of tramp stamps.
What did it say? Love? Is that what it said? Isn't that lady right? In the first Indiana Jones, he's teaching that class, and that lady closes her eyes. She got like
She
a
closes
message
her
for him.
eyes and it says "Love you."
Yeah,
Like Charles Manson on his knuckles.
He's like,
I think there is an adventure where
where Jones is nearly seduced by Squeaky Frome.
Jones is part of the Manson family. Like he realizes
Just
that,
kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, I gotta
he woke up one day. He's like, "Holy, this ain't right."
this ain't right.
Indiana Jones and the Curse of the San Fernando Valley.
Oh shit! Indiana Jones and the Son of Sam.
He goes to the East Coast?
He's delivering mail one day, and he's like, "That guy ain't acting right." Is that him?
Who's this dog he's talking
Son of
to?
Sam was a postal
Berkowitz,
worker, David Berkowitz, because I think that was a plot point in Seinfeld. Newman had David Berkowitz mail back,
That's right.
and he put it up as collateral
Didn't
or
Elaine
something.
date somebody that had the same name?
Yes, I think so. Let's see. We'd also be treated to Find Your Fate books from various authors, including R.L. Stine, that were geared towards kids that cast indie and choose your own adventure style tales. A total of 11 were released, and of course, there were toys. Kenner would produce figures for Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1982. LJN would shoot their shot for Temple of Doom for figures in 1984. Indie's action figure presence would maintain silence until 2008's Crystal Skull, when we see action figures from Hasbro. Characters from previous films would also get the plastic treatment at the same time. In the modern era, Indie has been immortalized by Hot Toys, and to coincide with Dial of Destiny, new role-playing items and action figures would see release from Hasbro.
That was any kid was like, "I just got the new Indiana Jones action figure from Dial of Destiny."
Who?
He's 80. I have an action figure and is of an 80-year-old man. Whoever fucking said that.
My grandma got it for me.
A lot of this was, I mean, you had like kind of like Lego action figures and like little people shit geared towards kids, but you had stuff geared towards collectors, of course. You had figures done in the 1/12th scale, similar to Star Wars Black Series and Marvel Legends.
Does that mean if you bought 12 of them, you would
yes,
have
Dustin,
Harrison
that's
Ford
exactly
in
what it
real
means.
size?
It means if you buy 12,
It's a Build-A-Figure.
you'd have the same height.
That's a real question. You're gonna
Yeah,
mock- you're
no,
gonna
I'm
mock him?
being dead serious about it. I'm being dead serious.
Your
Stack
voice-
up 12
your
of
voice
them.
says otherwise.
Well, I'm sorry that you telegraphed it that way. That's a
I don't know what
decision
that,
you
I
made.
don't even know what that means.
Well,
I
sounds
just
like
wanna know
sounds
how
like
many-
a J problem.
How many figures it takes to build a Harrison Ford?
A lot.
Okay.
he's being real nasty to you.
No,
It's
I'm
the
not.
whiskey
You had a-
talking.
you had a real-
yeah, you're-
no more whiskey.
Yeah, pot Dustin's starting to deal with whiskey Derek.
You're acting like a real.
It's oil and water, baby. I'm healed, but I'm still a son of a bitch.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Yesterdaze.
Won't you join us next
I
time?
have commercials. to
Watch
play
it,
still.
please.
There can't be much more.
We're about to land the plane here,
it's
buddy. Why don't you calm down? Additionally, what with retro being all the rage here in the 2020s, a line of 3.75 limited POA figures with card backs kind of homaging the toy lines from 82 and 84 would also see release from Hasbro. Even now, with the franchise deemed as being over and done with, Indiana Jones merchandise is still plentiful and still available. Final thoughts on Indiana Jones?
I need to revisit
Starting with Dustin, going to Jason, coming to me.
some of the films, apparently.
I really think you need to watch Crusade again, man. I can't believe you've only seen that once. That really surprises me.
Yeah,
They're all on Disney, right?
I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
actually. They're all on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain even Chronicles is on there. I'm pretty certain it is.
And that documentary I was watching about Harrison Ford and the whole series. It seemed like a good watch. I was enjoying that. I still have about 30 minutes left of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Disney Plus seems to be where to go to watch them. But I do own the first two on DVD. I never
you don't have
upgraded
a
the Blu-ray.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have the box set that has, oh goodness, I know it has the first three. It might have Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I've got Crusade on VHS.
And I think it has like a couple bonus episodes of like Young Indiana Jones,
Okay.
I think. So
Yeah, that would be interesting, I guess, to revisit. I don't know if I'm ever going to find myself in that position where that's what I want to check out. But I remember enjoying it as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know how that I'm going to relate to that as a 44-year-old, you know.
I think if I was to revisit it, the only thing I would want to revisit is the Harrison Ford episode.
Okay.
That's the only one. Because one, it's 1920 Chicago, so fuck
Yeah,
me.
that's cool.
And the fact that Harrison Ford actually came back to do an episode. So I would check
But
that
just
one.
like a scene right at the end of the show.
He was more or less how George Hall, the guy that would play like Indy in his 90s, would bookend the episode. Harrison Ford did it that time, if I'm not mistaken. So I would go back and check that out for sure. What about you, Jay?
It was a show that was, or those movies were always on TV.
Yeah.
I grew up with them always be on TV. Indiana Jones is an ever-present franchise for me. Misstep, 2008. They got the hottest guy on the planet after the Transformer movies and Shia LaBeouf to jump on. It didn't really work for me, and I think they knew it, and that's why they took another 15 years off from making it.
Yeah.
Dial of Destiny is good, but I think you're hard up to beat Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just a really solid flick. Harrison Ford brings that kind of bravado. And that charisma. It's tough to replicate what he's able to do. I love it. I don't think I really play any of the video games. I don't have any of the action figures or any of the merchandise from it. It lives in my head as just kind of this classic franchise, and it's not something I revisit a lot, but I'm definitely not opposed to it. Indiana Jones is great.
There are a couple of those newer Hasbro figures I wanted, and maybe I'll try to track them down. Like, I wouldn't mind like classic Raiders looking Indy. I wouldn't mind getting the Club Obi-Wan Indy in his tux with the little rose and shit. That would look cool. If you want to chime in for what you have seen, very good. But I almost want to be like, how do we rate them? I kind of feel like we've more or less alluded to that. Of what you've seen, D, where would you rate from least to greatest?
Well, I mean,
You get a mulligan for Dial.
yeah, Raiders is my favorite for
Yeah.
sure.
What's your least favorite?
My least favorite of the ones I've seen is Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I would throw like, again, memory's pretty vague, but the young Indiana Jones Chronicles I would probably put above Crusade just because I watched it more. And then unfortunately,
just the movies, but go for it.
yeah, and then Temple of Doom probably goes above Young just because those are the two I'm the most familiar with.
Jay, what
I'm
about
a weird litmus test of the.
you are. I am still.
You've seen what you've seen.
Indiana Jones.
I'm going to be very shocked for a little bit that you've only seen Crusade once.
Yeah,
That
Chuck
really-
and Sharon weren't into Indiana Jones. It was something I had to find on my own.
that really surprised me.
Yeah.
Just in terms of films, it's 1, 3, 5, 4. No, 2, 4.
Yeah.
That's how it
Crystal
is.
Skull's dead last for you.
Yeah, it's the worst of the bunch, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I do have to agree with you. It man, it was bad. Man, it was bad. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of right there with you. The fucking monkey scene. Like, okay, as much
You
as
ever try to swing on a vine?
have you ever tried to climb a rope in gym class?
I could never do that. Have you ever swung on a vine before?
Have you ever swung on anything? It's not easy.
I've
and
swung
he's
on a
just
vine.
doing it with relative ease.
I grew up with woods. There
Yeah,
are vines.
there's vines here.
I've swung on a vine before.
I have too
I shit
in
you
Market
not.
Heights. Guess what? Not easy.
I don't think I could make it from one vine to another, let alone
With as much ease in a leather jacket in the Peruvian
yeah,
jungle.
like a mile's worth of just. Oh, there's another one. That's nice.
This is going
Not-
incredibly well.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is. That's more unbelievable than like touching an alien skull and
Here's
then, like,
the deal.
seeing an alien.
Fucking temple edges out Crystal Skull because of the nostalgia, because of the memories tied to it of what was going on in my life when I saw it, and Short Round.
and you're a classic bug eater.
Oh, I love it. They're delicious. Delicious. My absolute favorite, the best of the franchise is Raiders. It is
Yeah.
the best. But my favorite for very personal reasons is Crusade. It's a classic father and son story. I remember when we watched it, that was a sweats party, which is something we did on Friday nights. or
Turn up the
Saturday
heat,
nights.
run in place,
No.
really sweat it out.
Yeah.
Really get out all the toxins and the poisons. Joe was big about it. Joe was a classic fitness freak.
Yes. Like Jack LaLanne.
I remember seeing him one time. He came from church. And his mustache was just soaked with sweat.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell he had been at a sweat party.
Oh yeah. Constantly ran laps and cut off shorts with the pockets.
That's how he
sticking
kept
out.
so fit.
It is how he was very strong like bear. Crusade's my favorite just because I can remember us renting it. That was a big deal. My dad and I were so excited. And what's interesting is, so Kyle, my little brother, he is a huge Star Wars kid. Loves Star Wars. And I have my affinity for Star Wars. But Star Wars was more Dad and Kyle's thing. Indy was me and my dad.
Gotcha.
That was me and my dad's thing. So I will always have a huge affinity for Indiana Jones. And I, people talked almost immediately after Dial of Destiny of what do we do with the franchise? Can we continue it? There were talks of Chris Pratt taking over the role.
If you're ever trying to like reboot a franchise, like Chris Pratt, I don't know if that's the right thing. That's
I
not
don't
the right
know
answer.
that's the right decision. As much as I like him, I don't know that that's the right decision.
I think people have moved beyond that now.
He's Garfield. He's Mario. He's Jurassic Park.
There's a new Mario movie coming out too.
There
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
him,
I'm
right?
looking forward to taking Henry. It's a sequel to the last one.
The Galaxy.
But I'm looking forward to taking Henry to it. It does raise the question, do you reboot this? I'm not going to say no, never, because I'm all for making things accessible to new audiences. I'd love it if they could come up with something new with a new indie and it introduces a whole new audience and generation to it, and then they go back and find these films that we grew up with. I think that's hard. I think that's really hard to do. I think that's a very tall order. Who do you get to step?
Yeah, they
in that
tried
role?
doing that with Han Solo.
I liked Solo.
Like
I didn't
doing
think it
an
was a
early
bad
movie. I didn't think it was
I didn't think it was
horrible.
bad either.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing. You see it all the time in TV shows, recasting characters, and then the biggest example probably in all of American lore or American film is the James Bond franchise. Every 15 years,
That's a franchise
they
you had no
recast.
problem with that.
They recast a new guy.
Yeah.
But I think it's just accepted.
Yeah.
Sean Connery was James Bond. He's so closely, and they somehow successfully got a new guy to do it. Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So it'd be a tall order.
It'd be tough.
Someday it'll be tried. Someone will do it.
Somebody
someday.
will try it, and that's fine.
It won't be this guy.
And I'm not
going to get you to do it.
No.
No,
They'd make you cut your hair first. of all.
probably.
They did. I mean, if you could at least negotiate them into putting your hair into a ponytail, you direct it, of course. Yes.
No.
Oh,
Hey, Dustin, what's under that fedora?
Dust.
Tangles.
Oh no,
I'm all tangled out.
Need to get some Johnson and Johnson. Look, if there's nothing else to say about Indiana Jones, the franchise as a whole, we are going to go ahead and kick to commercial, and we'll be right back after these messages.
They came to space camp with a dream of becoming astronauts.
I want to be the first female shuttle commander.
Suddenly, without warning,
We have overheat on Booster B.
America's most unlikely heroes
Watch it, so we're going to explode!
were launched into space.
Do it.
Space Camp, the sneak preview. This summer's greatest adventure is about to begin. Rated PG.
This holiday season, dash on down to McDonald's for your own original Indiana Jones videos. Just $5.99 each with the purchase of any large sandwich all day long. Give the kids stocking stuffers that'll really bowl them over. Get an indie video at your McDonald's today for just $5.99 each. The best price ever with the purchase of any large sandwich any time of day. Collect all three. Just stop by McDonald's and ask for today's video. But hurry, because everyone is going to want one.
Now dare to cross forbidden boundaries to the ultimate adventure.
Come on!
It's more than a ride. It's real. Now your fears have a name. The Indiana Jones Adventure, new at Disneyland.
When Indiana Jones wants something, he goes after it, no matter what it takes. Now join Indy on his greatest adventure, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. All the excitement of the blockbuster film has been captured in this hand-numbered collector's plate. It's produced on fine china in an edition limited to a maximum of 150 firing days. Analysts at the Bradford Exchange, the heart of the international collector's plate market, have picked winners like these exceptional plates before. Now Bradford recommends Indiana Jones, which appears to have similar profit potential. To acquire this plate at the issue price of $24.75, call this toll-free number. Indiana Jones is backed by Bradford's 365-day guarantee, so you risk nothing. Join the quest, claim your share of the adventure. Call this toll-free number. Have your credit card ready and charge your purchases to Visa or MasterCard to save COD charges.
In the new movie, The Land Before Time, Littlefoot, Sarah, Ducky, and Spike share an incredible journey. Along the way, they become best friends.
Now we'll always be together.
And now these lovable characters can be your child's friends too. With a pizza from Pizza Hut, a Land Before Time dinosaur is only 99 cents. So come to Pizza Hut. Your friends are waiting.
We'll always be together. Pizza Hut! Make it a difference.
Audiences are falling for Hot Shots Part 2.
It was such a sensitive, emotional roller coaster. You just felt that lump coming into your throat.
There's my teeth.
It really hit me right in the heart.
Hot Shots Part 2.
It made me miss my dad.
Rated PG-13. Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
It ain't the time, it's the miles, honey, and this episode has certainly ran out of both. That brings us to the epic conclusion of our look back at all things Indiana Jones as best we could without turning this into a 3-part series, each episode clocking in at 3 hours a pop. But hey, come kick off March with us next Monday and firewalk with us as we set off with another patron pick, this time from our old pal Corey, a.k.a. Boo Cyrus. We're jumping into Twin Peaks.
We're covering the whole series or the movie? You said Firewalk with Me.
Because that's a cheeky
I know.
turn of phrase.
He was being cheeky.
I mean cheeky, Dustin.
Okay.
I mean cheeky. I'm not actually suggesting that you measure a Harrison Ford by way of action figures.
Okay.
And I'm not suggesting that you indeed firewalk with me.
But I could if
You could
it
if you
was
want
required.
to. Hey, if your heart's in the right place, big guy, you can do anything. You can dream it.
I've
you
got
can
the
be
first
it.
episode on VHS.
I would love to think that I would go back and watch the reboot from like 2017 or something.
Yeah.
I probably won't, but I wouldn't. I'm not against watching that. I've seen everything else.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to diving into this. I probably have some stuff I'm going to send you guys from a guy I made contact with as far as like reviewing
Kyle MacLachlan.
the series. Oh God, wouldn't it be great to get him on?
We should eat pie when they were doing that.
Oh God, damn fine cup of coffee, damn fine. I think what I'm looking most forward to is referring Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2. Chief Wickham, don't eat the clues.
But now he just did it.
Your favorite chewing gum's coming back in style.
This suit burns better. Burns his suit. Burns his suit. Look at the suit.
Wiggum's so stupid.
Did you have the same dream with the backwards talking girl? I'll drive. Anyways, I've been drinking. Hey, Fridays, Radio Rewind. You're gonna want to listen to it. It's on the Drunken Lullaby feed. It's totally easy to find. It's gonna have Jason, Dustin, and our friend Tyler. It's a good time.
If I were to write copy on how to sell the show,
Yeah. That was it.
I think it's
is that
exactly
what we call it?
I would have
Slam dunk trap.
I would say, hear the words, but like fill your mouth full of honey before you start talking.
Just let them flow out your face like molasses. If you like nostalgia, this is a musical walk through nostalgia, and it's tremendous. Currently, they are going through 86, 96, 2006, and goddamn it, 2000.
You like weirdos? We got them in droves. On
You
this
do
show.
bring a lot of weirdos on that
we got
show.
some new
Some of them
weirdos.
with drinking problems.
We got some real fuck freaks coming on.
Oh, fuck.
So tune in.
Tune in, won't you please? Hey, also, this is the last week of February. I want to encourage you to tune into the feed. The second installment of Final Friday will be dropping this Friday on the Yesterdaze feed. Join me, won't you please? Again, thank you to Dustin for editing this short form passion project of mine. As far as socials are concerned, you can connect with all of us. You got at couchpilots.com. I don't know what Jason's doing over there anymore. At DutchStick11, at Derek J. Hoover, and at Yesterday's Pod, all on X. And you can also find Yesterday's Pod on Instagram, Blue Sky, and the old-fashioned YouTubes. Here at the end, we, of course, want to thank all of our patrons, what with it being the end of the month, and that is going to be Mo. Thank you again for such a wonderful pick. I loved going back and looking at Indiana Jones, a franchise I love very, very much. Very, very much. We, of course, want to thank Patron Mike, Nostalgia Nate, Mike Afonso, and Allison Troy. And we want to thank our other patrons, our I Have the Power patrons. That's going to be Jordan, a.k.a. Shevitz, Richie, a.k.a. Ponce, Jacob of Red Mountain Retro, Corey, a.k.a. Bucyrus. I'm sorry, my throat's getting
Where are all
very
these
dry.
AKAs, by the way?
I'm sorry,
Why
what?
has everyone got a fucking alias?
Yeah, shout out to Jason, a.k.a.
Bottle Cap Kid, a.k.a.
Catfish.
Black Magnet, a.k.a. Catfish.
AKA the Catfish, coming at you.
Coming at ya.
Black Magnet, Bottle Cap Kid.
The flannel
a.k.a. my
Fabio.
oldest friend. No, that's going to be Jordan, Richie, Corey, Jacob of Red Mountain Retro, and welcome back, Adam Z. I'm sure we enjoyed our lunch in Pontiac. If you yourself are in the position to help our humble show grow, won't you consider becoming a patron today at patreon.com/Yesterdaze podcast. That is going to wrap it up for Yesterdays this week, but come back next Monday and we'll do it again. Bye.